Good boss, bad boss. It can be the difference between your job making your heart race or your stomach ache.
But you've got to pay the bills, so sometimes you've just got to suck it up and make it work.
Jimmy Rhodes has a survival guide for lousy bosses, and that's our featured story at the top of the list.
There's a little show wrapping up soon. You may have heard of it.
I look forward to seeing this one.
Game of Thrones is about conniving people who will do anything to gain power, kind of like most corporate gigs.
People quit their bosses, not their organizations.
Higher Stories' Teresa Maher says bad bosses can ruin an otherwise sweet gig.
That's typically the person that you work the most closely with, and that's the person that has the most impact on you.
Here's how to deal with 4 types of lousy bosses, GOT style. First up, the lousy communicator.
One of the most common complaints that we hear about people that are struggling with their bosses are communication skills.
The Game of Thrones solution? Behead them. That'll make them read my emails, right?
Nope, your boss is still your boss is still your boss.
Fine. Got any better ideas?
Ask all of those questions that you need to know until you get the appropriate answer for it. But it's really important that you have that on paper, that you did take the extra effort.
Email your pestering so you have documentation. The next bad boss, the micromanager.
You've got the boss that's kind of right here all the time with everything you do.
In Thronesville, you poison guys who get all up in your grill. You know who deserves a little something in his drinky?
Nobody.
And I'm stumped. What you got?
Preemptively offer the information. Send regular updates, what you've just done, what you're working on now. It can save you a lot of unnecessary interaction in the future.
As would poisoning, but email updates don't land you in jail. How about a boss who's the trap setter? You
are given this list of expectations that you cannot possibly achieve, and then you're reprimanded once you don't achieve those things.
I've got a little trap for you. You know when this is a good idea?
Never.
Okay, then call their bluff by asking for the resources needed to achieve the goal.
If you tell them I need these 7 things to be able to do this, and they decide that they're not going to give that to you, then suddenly the expectation changes, or suddenly you have 7 things to be able to help you achieve that goal.
Our last bad boss is the worst kind, the incompetent.
Initially, you might want to try to show everyone how incompetent they are.
That's the spirit.
That is a huge no-no.
You're right. Barbecue them, Thrones style.
No.
Agree to disagree?
If you have a completely incompetent boss, chances are they're not going to be around for very long. So just make sure that you have a solid network and solid documentation on the things that you've done.
So you land on your feet in the post-bad boss landscape.
What do I hold on to?
Whatever you can.
Surviving real-life dragons is at the top of the list.